We are on top of breaking news right now on WFMY News 2 at 6 o'clock. Worried parents are back with their kids after a deadly stabbing at North Forsyth High School. Earlier today, parents lined up at the Joel Coliseum to be reunited with their children.
Investigators say 2 students at North Forsyth High School got into a fight. One died, another was injured. Superintendent Don Phipps says this is something that no student or staff member should ever have to go through.
Today is a worst nightmare of any educator. We hurt when our students hurt, and this is the ultimate hurt that we can possibly feel.
We have many answers, but we are still working to learn what led to the stabbing and more information about the 2 students involved.
Reaction is pouring in from all over, including from Governor Josh Stein, who called the stabbing shocking and horrible and offered his condolences for all the students and staff at the school.
We have live team coverage. Our News 2 team has been on scene since about noon or so. We're covering all angles of the story from what happened to the law enforcement response.
We begin with WFMY News 2's Chad Silber, who talked to parents and students who are shaken by this deadly stabbing.
And every parent I spoke with had a different story of how they learned of this stabbing today. Some of them received texts from their child, some received calls. I met one woman who got a FaceTime from her son as it was happening, where it was happening. Her son FaceTimed her and showed her the chaos as it was unfolding. He saw it, and so did she, and it will take some time for them to recover from what they saw. They were all here at the Reunification area where families reunited with their students. It took hours to get everybody reunited with their families. They have all gone home, and I'm sure they're hugging each other much tighter tonight. Meantime, law enforcement has a tall task ahead. Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough spoke at a news conference with other law enforcement today. Very upset, but also very frustrated and just exhausted about how to keep kids safe in school. He also offered his condolences to the people impacted.
Winston-Salem Police Department, City of Winston-Salem, Emergency Management, the school system. We're praying with the family, for the family, to bring resolution.
So this was really the second location of the day, but the first was obviously at North Forsyth High School. Imagine the chaos that was surrounding that school after this deadly stabbing. Parents rushing to the school. Law enforcement rushing to the school. WFMY News 2's Amber Lake was the first of our reporters on scene today and got to witness it all. Amber, I can't imagine what that moment was like.
It was emotional for me, and I, don't know anybody that's involved. We arrived to this area, and there were so many parents that just kind of poured into this area across from the high school. And while we were standing out here and talking to them, we could just see the fear and the shock in their eyes. While reporting out here today, I also learned that I have a cousin that goes to high school here, and he told me that he saw what happened, he heard what happened. This was during class change, and after this situation happened, everyone just started running. He ended up being on lockdown in the auditorium. Thankfully, he's okay, and a lot of other students are okay physically, but mentally this is going to be very tough for them to get through moving forward. Parents today just collapsed whenever they heard the news. We saw one woman just completely fall down to the ground crying, and other parents embracing her and hugging her during this tough time. They're all waiting for answers still. A lot of these parents and students and faculty members are waiting for answers still. One parent we saw came up here looking for his daughter, and he was told to go to the Coliseum. I talked to another parent who said that she received a text from her son today, and she said that she immediately came up here.
I'm pissed. Like, it's unsafe. Like, you should be able to go to work or be at home knowing that your kid is in school learning and safe, not this.
A lot.
Yeah? Are you doing okay?
It's crazy. It's very sad.
As you can tell, this was a very sad situation. That woman I talked to, she said she doesn't want to send her son back. She said that he's doing everything he can to graduate early from this school. And this shouldn't be how school is. You should want to come to school to learn, to be with your friends, and to make those memories. But situations like this, a lot of these students and parents are very scared moving forward, sending their students back to school, Chad.
Amber, I heard a lot of that too over here, just parents unsure what to do now. I met one woman who has a daughter who's a freshman here at North Forsyth, and she said she has a couple of kids who are in middle school. They're supposed to go to North Forsyth next year, and she said, I can't send my kids there. Keep in mind, they've had 2 gun incidents at North Forsyth this year already. One at the beginning of the school year, a student was arrested because of a gun, and then just a month ago, another student was arrested because of a gun. A lot of parents are very on edge here. WFMY News 2's Christina Dillon has also been out here speaking with parents. Christina, I'm sure you've heard a lot of the same thoughts.
That's right, Chad. I have. We started at the school today where I did speak to some parents who were gathered across from the school where those gates were closed, just not knowing what was going on. They had heard their children were going to be bused to this reunification site. We went to the press conference, heard from officials, and then we came out to the reunification site later about 3 o'clock today. And that's where I heard from more parents, more students who are being reunited. Students told me that they were placed on lockdown. One student I talked to said she was in a different wing from where the incident happened, and she wasn't heard. She didn't hear anything about what happened. She was just told they were on lockdown and just was told that they were coming to the Coliseum to be reunited with their families. We also did hear there was a video circulating. Officials talked about that in the press conference today, urging everybody to stay away from that video, to not repost it, not comment on it, give it no traction whatsoever, as this was a tragic loss of life for somebody, and it should not be on video. And we also did speak with a grandmother and a mother today who told us reuniting with their kids was absolutely the best case scenario that could have came out of today.
I wasn't sure what was happening, if they apprehended, because all I know was there was a stabbing, somebody died, and there was an injury. So we didn't know, at that point I didn't know that those were the only 2 involved and that the kids were safe.
She was texting me the whole time I was there, and it's a little, I guess, overwhelming because you can't come and you can't pick them up, you can't do anything about it.
Parents ultimately told me that they were just happy and thankful, blessed to be able to see their kids today. They did offer their condolences to the victim's family. Chad?
Christina, thank you so much. Nixon Norman was actually our first reporter out here at the Joel Coliseum today, showing the long line of parents that really wrapped around the building as they were just waiting to see their child. Nixon, I think a lot of anxious parents in that line today.
Yeah, Chad, you are not even exaggerating when we say that there was a line wrapped around the entire Coliseum. Now you can see that things are quiet here right now, and hopefully quiet in all the homes of, again, the hundreds of parents and students that reunited here after a stabbing at North Forsyth, leaving 1 dead. Unfortunately, many of those parents and students tell me that although sad, they are not shocked by this incident at all. They saw something like this coming. With one student I spoke saying that fights in the bathroom are fairly common, and that's what led to this stabbing today. But that unfortunately this fight turned deadly. One of those parents, Reginald Williams, was here to pick up his daughter, who's a senior, and he agrees that none of this was shocking.
Luckily, this is her last year here, so there's been some incidents last year and the year before, so this all has to stop,
Does that come with a sense of relief that it's her last year?
Yeah, oh yes, definitely.
Tell me about that.
She's actually getting out December this month, so she's a senior, so she won't have to come back to the school until they walk in May.
As you heard me ask and him reply, he's relieved that this is his daughter's last year at North Forsyth. And he, along with the sheriff and police chief, say that violence like this in Winston-Salem has to stop, particularly in the schools here. Live in Winston-Salem, I'm Nixon Norman, WFMY News 2.
Nixon, thank you so much. And there was a sense of deja vu even for me today. 4 years ago, I was here at the Joel Coliseum at this time of night as a reunification just wrapped up after that deadly shooting that occurred at Mount Tabor High School. You'll remember it clearly. The parents, they were frantic. They were here in line. They waited hours to reunite with their child. And then the same thing occurred today. A different high school, same school district, same situation. Rinse and repeat. What's the solution? I don't know. I'm not sure anybody knows, but we do have to work together to prevent this from happening again. Back to you guys in the studio.